Yo guys, what is up? You got Nocturnality here, bringing you a brand new video on Blade and Soul Unreal Engine 4. This is with the dual blade shifting blade spec. This video I've been promising for like a week now, but I'm getting around to it now. And this is going to be with XML. I mean, you can call it cheating or whatever you are, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's really not cheating. Just makes it a little bit more easier to be able to play this spec. So I mean. I will make a separate video on how to play this spec without an XML file, but this is going to be mainly for an XML file. I'm going to leave a download in the description below for everything that you're going to need to be able to play this. So the file that I'm going to leave in the description for you, it's going to be this zip file here. And then in this zip file, you're going to get two folders and an exe file. This is the multi-tool for Blade and Soul. So what we're going to do, you're going to open up that zip file that you got. You're going to highlight everything inside that zip folder. You're going to just drag it somewhere on your computer. You can do it on your desktop or anywhere that you want to. So now that we got these three files, first thing that we're going to want to do is install the plugins required to make everything, the add-ons and all that stuff work properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my root destination of Blade and Soul. If you want an easy way of finding it, you can simply just type in Blade and you can like hit your start menu, just type in Blade or Blade and Soul, and it's going to pop up right here or somewhere along this category. You can click Open File Location. It's going to bring you to the start menu thing. You're also going to right click that one and click Open File Location. Never mind. Well, you can do that. You just go back one folder, and then it should bring you, you should see your root folder right here. It's called BNS_UE4. If just to make it simple, like wherever you installed it to, which will probably be on your main hard drive, you just go to your main hard drive. Like for instance, for me, it's local disk C, and it would be in program files x86, and it would be somewhere in there with your NCSoft folder, or should be. Anyways, I digress. So now we're gonna go back to where my game is, which is I just have it installed under games, BNS, and then it's BNS_UE4. So I'm just gonna click on that, and then there should be a BNSR folder. You're gonna click on that. You're going to click on binaries, and you're going to click on Win64. So this is now going to pull up the root folder where the actual client is. So now what we need to do is put this plugins. We need to open up this plugins folder, and you're going to have another plugins folder inside of that, and a winmm.dll file in there. All I'm going to do right here is just drag and drop these two files in my root directory. You shouldn't have any files in there that you need to replace, but if you do, just click on replace the files in the destination. So now in your root folder in the Win64, you should have a plugins folder with these three DLLs. This one you don't really need. This is more just a quality of life plugin. But anyway, and then you should have your winmm.dll in the main root folder. So now that that's done, we are now ready to get our add-ons installed. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to, I'm going to launch my actual launcher. So I'm going to launch, you're going to launch your launcher that you, wherever you placed it. It's going to pull up just like this. Now you're going to go to patches. You're going to go to manager. So we're just going to put this over here to the side, just like this. And now we're going to load up our plugins, not plugins, whoops, add-ons. So now the add-on in XML, it's just the XML file. With this XML file, we are now going to right click and copy, and we're going to place it in this manager folder. So this multi-tool will actually separate how it's supposed to be. So when you have it installed, just click refresh down here, and then your dual blade or XML file should pop up over here. You're just going to click checkbox to apply the add-on. So now we're going to launch our game. Now, since this will be your first time launching, you'll have to input your you'll have to hit add and then add your account information, because this does have a login helper. I just use it because it just makes it easier. So now I'm going to launch my game here, and I'll see you guys in game, and we'll talk more about the actual dual blade spec in there. Alright guys, welcome back. So now let's talk about the actual spec of shifting blades. So I'm going to pull up my talents menu here. This is the talents that you're going to want to spec for this specialization. So you'll want to do 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. And there are some other ones that you could choose from if you wanted to really do that. So for like solo content, you'd want to do 3, 3, 2, 3, 2. And then for party content, you'll want to use 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. So, but yeah, so 3, 3. But I'm just going to leave mine at this. This is what I've spec'd, and it works out just fine for me. So, and then as for your distributing your points, obviously you want to put some of your points in decimator, and then if you have a soul burn in your party, which soul burn is like if you have a warlock or a warden, you want to put 5 points in awakened decimator. And then I forget what the other, probably like drive strike or maybe even onslaught. I forget exactly what the other one needs to be, or the other two need to be. But here is the accessories that I have. So this is just my call to arms gear that I have here. So as for your opener, to be able to do your burst, you can be this class has a very long range, so you'll be able to stand pretty far away from the boss, about 12 meters or so. So what we're going to do, there's a couple different ways that you can start this opener. You could do 1 CE, tab, and then 4. So what this XML file basically does, if you haven't noticed, since I haven't told you yet, is that both of your change stances is on LMB and RMB now, and 4 and F, which is your burst. That's what the burst is. It's 4 and F. It's on 4 now. So, but that's the whole point of this video, is showing you how to install the add-on or the XML file to make this to make the rotation a lot easier for this class or this spec. So yeah, there's a couple different ways that you can start out with this opener, but we're just going to do the 1 CE tab 4, and we're going to spam 4 just like that. You're just going to keep tapping 4 during your burst until it's over. So I'm going to give an example of that right now. So there's the burst. Of course, I am using the long soul, which the dragon, which I have true dragon soul, which has a full like minute cooldown. But yeah, as you saw there, you can just do 1 CE tab burst. Or there are other ways that you can do this. Also, you can do tab 1 CE. I usually have a little bit of a higher burst when I do the tab 1 CE. This is what works for me. So yeah, I mean, there's only a couple of different ways that you can do this burst. I do tab 1 CE and then spam 4. Because basically what this class does, like to be able to get that kind of burst, it's a high reward, because high risk, high reward, because this burst, to be able to get this burst, it takes 70% of your HP and leaves you with 30% or 29% or whatever. So yeah, you can do 1 CE tab, then you can do your burst, which is your 4, or you can do tab 1 CE, and then burst your 4. So since we have this add-on, we can just spam 4. You don't have to spam 4 and F to actually do the burst. That's what the burst is. It's 4 and F. Then you're probably wondering, what do I do afterwards? So this also ties and your RMB and V on V. So after you finish your burst, because once you finish your burst, you go back to full HP. So just keep an eye on that. I'm going to do that one more time just to show you guys. Ooh. Whoops, that was a mistake. I was a little bit too close there. Let's get back some now. Okay, so let me turn down my game volume, but I feel like it's a little bit too high. It's because I need to talk over my game here. So I'm gonna turn this down to like 1. And you guys might not even be able to hear it, not quite sure. Since I'm recording with OBS, I don't have it like set up like fully. So what you're going to do is, once your burst is finished, what I typically do is I hit LMB to switch my stance. And then I just hold down V. You can hold it down and it'll just auto attack while you're holding it. So that's what I do. And then you want to keep an eye on your 4 because it will come off cooldown eventually. And when it does, you want to use your 4 off cooldown. And then once your splinter, which I'll actually just show you what that looks like here. So your splinter over here, once this resets, and because when it hits 0, it will reset. Once it does, you can do your burst once again. So you'll be like fighting a boss or whatever, and you'll be doing the like rotation, and you'll be using your full 4 off cooldown. Once this comes off cooldown, you'll be able to use your burst again. Obviously, your DPS isn't gonna look like it's going up very high. This is because of your average DPS. But I mean, it'll still be the same amount. So yeah. So once it comes off cooldown and you're over here, just doing the main rotation, you'll be able to now do your tab 1 CE and do your burst all over again. And then if you're watching my HP bar, it'll go back to full once the burst is finished. Just like that. You can do LMB, and then you can just do your V4. And you'll be able to use it a couple times. And then you can do your E in the midst of all of this. That way you can get your badge, which I think this also does the Mystic badge. Yeah, it does. So E, or even changing your stance will just do the same thing. It will activate the Mystic badge. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You'll do your burst, which is to engage with your burst. You will do 1 CE, tab, then you can either spam 4, or you can also hold it like so. So once your burst is finished and you're back at full HP, then you'll do you'll hit LMB to switch your stance, and then you can do. I personally like this one because it does give you like some CC resistance. That's a big thing for this class, is for this spec, is that if you get not hit by a boss, I mean, you can die really easily, especially during your burst. Excuse me. So yeah, you'll just to recap on all this, you'll want to do 1 CE, tab, and then either spam 4 or hold it down, And then once your burst is over, you'll be able to you could hit LMB to switch your stance, and then just hold down V to do the rotation, and then obviously use 4 off cooldown until your splinter over here comes off cooldown. Then you'll be able to do your burst again, and you don't have to be standing 10, 11 meters or whatever. You can just do it right at 3 meters on the boss, and then yeah, but you have to make sure your 4 is not on cooldown. It has to be off cooldown, or you're just gonna miss out your whole burst. So yeah, you'll do your rotation, start your burst again, and then you'll just keep doing the same thing over and over and over until the boss or whatever that you're fighting is dead. I know this video's kind of been all over the place, but that's just the gist of it. So yeah, just to engage 1 CE, tap, spam 4, and then do the rotation with V. You could also use your I think C2. This does resist damage and status effects as well, so you could use that. Like, it has about a 12-second cooldown, so you can use that too if you need to dodge or whatever. You can also use your S and your Q and your E to also do all that as well. So yeah, hopefully this video was interesting, guys. Now, I'm not like an expert on the spec. I do play it, but I play it very casually. But that's just the real gist of it with this add-on. This is for the add-on, by the way. So yeah, I will leave the opener or the burst or whatever. I'll leave everything down in the description for you guys. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I hope this video at least informed you a little bit. So right before we get off of here, I'm actually going to let's see, what kind of boss can we fight? Just a quick little boss fight that we could do. Maybe the Raven King. Yeah, I guess we could do the Raven King. So yeah, this isn't gonna be like totally realistic, but this will give you an idea kind of how this class is played with this shifting blade spec. So yeah, I mean, something a little bit like that. I was messing up and misclicking some keys there, but yeah, something like that. I mean, like with the XML, shifting blades is very, very easy. I would say the biggest downfall of it is like if you get hit or knocked back or something during your burst, it's practically game over. I mean, you can still possibly survive, but it's a very low chance of that happening. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty fun class to play. You guys can just give it a go, just check it out, see how you like it. That's pretty much all I can just say on that. I mean, all you gotta do is just give it a try. Okay, so I am out, guys. If you have any questions, leave your comments down below.